2 weeks ago sa work, no, let me magkwentuhan muna tayo. I am a nurse working in cath lab dito sa Germany. That week, almost every day may emergency cases kami. One is 27 years old, one is 29 years old, and then kahapon na naman, 33 years old, heart attack. Parang, if you think about it, that age, no, na ang bata mo pa, you should not be having that kind of health problems. So my question is why? And it made me really wonder, bakit pabata ng pabata? And because of that, it made me also think about, kumusta tayo sa atin sa Pilipinas? And that made me check our statistics. Cause of mortality sa atin sa Pilipinas, number 1 would also be cardiovascular diseases. Ano ba yung cause ng cardiovascular diseases? These are the list. Lifestyle choices, sure, may factor din sa genetic. But halimbawa, if meron kayo sa pamilya nyo, no, 50% sure may chance ka na magkaroon ka ng ganitong certain disease. But that other 50%, you also play a huge role in it. So you have to play that part in order for you to avoid having this kind of certain health problem. So other causes, high blood, diabetes mellitus, obesity. Let's dig deeper into this kasi talagang nakakabahala and nakakakaba din. Ilan ang obesity rate sa atin sa Pilipinas? And tell me, ilan sa mga kakilala mo din ang may diabetes na? Nakakagulat and talagang sobrang nakakalungkot. And don't tell me about YOLO, you only live once. Sure, we only live once, but make it a good one. And I don't think na pabalik-balik sa hospital, no, would be a best way to live kasi hindi. And do not picture yourself na gusto mo yung ganong buhay kasi for someone working in the hospital, no, I have seen worse. So my hope is that we would be able to make better choices, especially sa food, sa health, in order for us para mas maging healthy tayo so that we would be able to enjoy talaga yung buhay natin. So let me break it down to you, no, paano ba natin to mababago? Ano ba yung mga risk factors na naka-impluwensya sa mga ganitong certain diseases? My intention is that I hope we would be able to realize yung mga ganitong factors so that we would be able to make a better choice para mas maging healthy tayo and mas ma-enjoy natin yung buhay natin. At the end of it, you would be like, ay girl, ayoko niyan, hindi naman yan healthy eh. Number 1, let me talk about this. This is very important. Colonial mentality. Before we get into food, let's talk about colonial mentality. We'll talk about emotions natin sa food. It's a no-brainer, no, na malaking influence yung Western sa atin. And don't get me wrong, masarap naman talaga. But sometimes, we put emotions on our food choices rather than embracing yung sariling pagkain natin. Bakit kamo? Kasi we have that colonial mentality as Filipinos. And really, gusto ko tong mawala sa atin. But this is a deep generational trauma na hindi to basta-basta mawawala. But if we become aware of it, we have sometimes that inferiority complex as Filipinos. So to give an example, halimbawa, when you see advertisements, no, na ang definition ng beautiful would be dapat maputi, dapat makinis, dapat kutis porcelana. Si kulot ay salot yan, dapat straight, dapat rebonded yung buhok. Now, I'm not going to deep down our history, no, kasi it's also worth a subject to talk about. But for now, I just want us to focus sa health, on how it affects us. McDo versus someone na bumili sa karinderya, what would you say? Diba, if you see someone na nag-McDo, parang, ay, social. Versus if you see someone na bumili lang sa karinderya, parang, ay, ang mura naman yan, ganyan. Someone who eats cereal versus someone na nagbaon ng pinakuloang patatas and then itlog. Diba, you would think na, ay, mahirap. Versus, yung kumakain ng cereal, just because something is foreign doesn't mean na healthy option siya. Naka-Starbucks versus naka-kape ng Barako. Diba, ang titignan mo yung naka-Starbucks kasi can afford siya versus yung naka-Barako. Pero, if you think about it, hindi naman healthy yung Starbucks kasi sobrang dami din naman ng sugar niyan. My point is, may we recognize na it doesn't make us inferior if we choose our own. Recognize na those foods, those whatever are different, and so are our own food too. May we remove the thinking na because you can afford to buy these foods, no, yayamanin ka. Ang tunay na yaman ay ang kalusugan. I don't know who said that, but diba paulit-ulit yun nung bata tayo. Pinas kids, no, minsan na-influensyahan din natin yung mga bata Pag naka-perfect sa exam, ay bibilhan ka ni mama ng McDo. As if naging reward na yun, pero again, hindi naman healthy yun kasi fast food yun. Just because, again, something is foreign, it doesn't make it a better choice. Kaya choose wisely and be aware of our own colonial mentality. Kasi hindi siya nakakatulong sa atin. I would rather eat, halimbawa, pritong isda and then steam na kangkong with kamatis versus McDo. Mas masarap sa akin yun. Now, let's talk about ultra-processed food. Hay naku, saan ba ako magsisimula? To be honest, sure, napakasarap naman talaga. Kasi they are perfectly made para mag-crave tayo. Did you know na kahit yung pag-open mo ng bag ng chips, that sound, it boosts up your dopamine. Pati yun, engineered yun, girl. Tinitrick tayo psychologically. And it's parang it sounds like a reward, kumbaga. There was a video I watched to know it was an experiment by a UK doctor in which for 30 days, he only ate processed foods. So the purpose of the study is to understand how our body changes if kumain tayo ng ultra-processed food for 30 days. And most specifically, how our brain changed after consuming these foods. Readily available naman kasi, diba? Napakadali lang. Bumili ka lang sa grocery. Bakit ka magluluto halimbawa ng lasagna? Meron naman ng kapak. Masarap pa. Sobrang cheesy pa. After that experiment, you won't believe na yung normal pathway ng brain natin pag nakain tayo, no, tinatapik lang naman yan si hypothalamus na, uy, tama na, busog ka na. After 30 days of eating that ultra-processed food, nag-create na yung brain mo ng sarili mong pathway to adapt to your own cravings. So in a normal setting, kumbaga nabusog ka na, no? Pero dahil may sarili na siyang pathway, hindi niya na ma-recognize yon. In short, kaya kakain ng kain and feeling mo gutom ka, pero technically, hindi ka nagutom, busog ka na, hindi ma-recognize ng brain mo yon. You are no longer responding sa hunger, but rather sa craving mo. It becomes, kumbaga, your addiction na. May you recognize this. Sure, if you are 20s, mabilis yung metabolism mo, no? And you are naman talaga into aesthetic, hindi ka tataba agad-agad. And we're only thinking naman talaga our physical attributes, no? Around 20s, ganyan. But come 40s, no? You would feel it if we did not nourish our bodies properly. The canned goods to, halimbawa, itong mga noodles, delata, pati delata, girl, may iba't iba na yung recipe. May pakaldereta, afritada, mechado, mura. Lagay mo lang sa mainit na kanin, diba? Masarap naman. Wag mo lang, girl, kasi talagang araw-arawin. Now, these are mga emergency foods. These are made kasi sa atin, diba, sa Pilipinas, andyan lagi si bagyo, may mga natural calamities. These are emergency foods. Hindi emergency situation, si pecha de peligro. So sure, halimbawa, kakapos ka na sa budget kasi pecha de peligro na, for sure, may mga under 100 pesos meals na mabibili mo versus leaning on sa mga noodles and versus leaning on sa mga delata. For sure, makakabili ka niyan, diba, ng isda or halimbawa ng tofu, sabayan mo pa ng gulay. At least, it's a better choice rather than, ayun na nga. Sugar, ay nako, another big thing. Sugar is very addictive. Have you ever wondered, no, bakit crave ng milk tea? And sometimes we mistake it talaga na, ay, social, naka-milk tea. Ako nga, tubig lang. When you're in a group gathering, no, halimbawa, may patipon-tipon, ganyan, automatic, ay, asan yung Coke? Asan yung juice? Someone would even comment, ano ba yan? Ang sarap ng handa, wala man lang ng Coke. What's wrong ng tubig? I had been aware about these choices now when I had PCOS. Mas naging conscious ako sa health ko kasi that was my pivoting point. PCOS din kasi also affects the insulin. When you have PCOS, it's not na wala ka ng insulin sa body, but rather that insulin na nasa labas lang ng cell mo cannot be transported inside. So kumbaga nasa bloodstream mo siya. So when you check blood sugar level, mataas si insulin kasi nga hindi siya na-deliver sa cells mo. So if you have PCOS, you will also be prescribed of metformin, which is a medicine for diabetes kasi nga insulin resistant din siya. When I was working sa call center before, no, Diba, wala naman ng mga freshly brewed coffee. Dadala ka talaga ng sarili mong instant coffee. 17 grams of sugar sa isang pack ng instant coffee. Hindi ako mag-name ng brand, but I want you to be aware of it. Titignan mo yung nutrition facts ng iniinom mo. That was too much. Kaya pala napakasarap niya, and kaya pala nakikrave ka talaga. Over time, no, as you consume yung mga sugary foods, ganyan, na-change na din nun yung panlasa mo. Parang ganun na yung new normal mo. Ganun dapat yung standard ng normal mo. Ganun dapat katamis yung gusto mo. Look at the chocolate brand din na advertise sa atin sa market. Siyempre, kukunin din yung loob mo nun. They will invest to some celebrity, sa mga artista, ganyan, para makumbinse ka. But in reality, again, check the nutrition facts. Half ng pack nun, sugar, hindi talaga chocolate. Ask yourself, ano ba yung binibili mo? Chocolate or asukal? Coffee or asukal? Even the juices, halimbawa, 100% orange juice, ganyan. Pero pag nitingnan mo yung nutrition facts, number 1, sugar. Or halimbawa, ayaw nila sabihin na sugar. Andyan si fructose, sucrose, lahat talaga. I want you to look at the ingredients or nutrition facts ng mga iniinom mong mga, alam mo na, sedentary lifestyle. Sa totoo, meron ka ng time. Kahit 30 minutes per day pa yan, 15 minutes per day pa yan na mag-exercise. Pero ayaw natin kasi naman talaga mas komportable humiga, mas komportable mag-scroll. Ay, bakit ba? You come up with some excuses too, no? Na, ay, ang mahal kaya ng gym. Ay, ayoko niyan. E di, you do home workout o kaya mag-jogging ka or mag-walking ka sa labas. Ay, ayaw ko, girl, may pollution sa labas. Sige. O ayaw ko, girl, wala naman ako ng mat. O sige. When you see a group of mga tita na nagzumba sa plaza, no, they're also wearing, diba, mga colorful outfits, kanyan. Some people would say, ay, my God, ang baduy. Instead of, wow, ang galing naman nila, at least may time sila para magzumba. You tell yourself, wala kang kasama mag-workout. Napakadami ng list mo ng excuses, sa totoo lang. If your work lalo na is sa harap lang ng computer and you're not hitting, halimbawa, mga 8K, 10K steps a day, yung pagkain mo, basta-basta lang din, kung ano lang yung gusto mong orderin, ganyan. No wonder kung bakit low yung energy natin, bakit low yung mood natin. Try to move. Workout then is something that should be personal and something specific for you. Ano yung mga movements na na-enjoy mo talaga and that what you can commit kahit 15 minutes per day pa yan. Malaking halaga na yan. Overall, working out is only 30% compared 70% sa pagkain. If you try to make better choices sa pagkain natin, malaking factor na yon for us to avoid these kind of certain diseases. Ay, nako. Now, I haven't talked about drugs, alcohol, or smoking sa list, no? Siguro sa sunod naman, sa sunod na vlog ni Ate Girl. But really, my hope for us is to make better choices, live healthy, kasi once lang tayong mabuhay, but make it a good one. This has been your Ate Girl. Nag-sermon na naman si Ate Girl mo today. Nakakabahala talaga kasi. I just hope, no, na makatulong to sa'yo. And I'm not trying to offend you and I'm not trying to make sermon. Just so that you would be more aware and you would create better choices para sa sarili mo. Yun lang yung hope ni Ate Girl. Mwah! So, thank you so much for being with me and I'll see you in the next. Mwah!